I miss her. And I know her dog misses her terribly.
Well, I hear you about that.
So maybe for his daughter energized.
Yeah, they
Oh my God. Oh, that's hilarious.
I just had cataract surgery about a year ago now, and then I got all those glasses, and I'm working on getting to the word, and I can just do it.
Morning. Hope you all can hear me okay. I tend to mumble before 11 a.m. So, welcome everybody. My name is Abby Thompson, and it's so good to see you all this morning. If we have, I'm going to jump to the visitors, but I will first welcome you all officially. Come, whoever you are, holding various beliefs, whatever your skin color, whatever your age or gender identity, whatever your abilities, whomever you love. You're welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Statesboro. You're welcome in this, our religious home. I'd like to now extend a warm welcome to any guests or visitors we have today. If you are willing and would like to stand up or just wave from your chair and say your name, we would like to hear about who you are.
Hello, I'm William King. I'm Richard's friend. I just come down to visit. I ain't been to church in a minute. I was just happy to come up here and see.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen, first time here. Wait, first time at Unitarian Universalists.
You're welcome.
Yep.
So we have a website called ustatesboro.org where you can share any information about contacting you that you would like to share, and then you would receive newsletters or monthly blasts, or weekly blasts, sorry, if you would like to receive those. Martha is our vice president, who would also gather any information you'd like to share to be contacted from. Now I'd like to remind us that since it's now September, we are going to be sharing half of the plate later in the service during offertory with I'm drawing a blank, but I did. Restoring the Breach Incorporated, which is a nonprofit organization here in Statesboro that started in 2017, and they seek to build community among folks who are less financially able to participate in some activities in our community, and they also have a program at the library that they offer twice a week that's called Me First, and it's a tutoring program for children, so they do things around the community that seeks to support children, families, and then they also bridge the gap between some of the university students and our community. And they are very active. You can go on their website if you'd like to see more about their past activities. They have quite a record, and they've been doing it since 2017. They're doing good work. Now, if you will, join me in our congregational affirmation. That will be on the wall.
Space bar.
I'm trying it. It's not really spaced, but I see it over here where the next slide is shown, so I know it's there.
The space bar.
I did.
How do you arrow button?
I did. I love your suggestions, though. I'm trying to figure out why the mouse won't respond. So, maybe it's just a small deal.
Went to the rescue.
I'm gonna go look for Miller.
Oh, there's the mouse. I like the mouse too.
Yay!
Thank you. Now, will you please join me in our congregational affirmation?
Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to love one another.
And I'd like to welcome Clint to the board. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The reason I'm wearing this, the past few days have been battling the flu, and I'm certain that I'm no longer contagious and feeling much better today, but just out of an abundance of caution, I wear this when I'm close to you all. why this isn't cooperating together. Let us worship together. We'll begin with the lighting of our chalice, symbol of our religious heritage. I will light our chalice and share our chalice reading. Then please rise as you are willing and able and join us in singing Rise Up, O Flame, twice. This is our chalice, blood and light, uniting us all by day and night.
Rise up, O flame, light our glory, shows beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, light our glory, shows beauty, vision, and joy.
Now let us honor the light within one another as we greet one another. For those at home, you're invited to share a greeting in the chat box, and I will just greet you
For
from
those
here.
at home, read very loud.
Always got one.
This time, I invite you to center yourself for worship as we listen to, and feel free to sing along with Wake Now, My Senses. The words will be displayed. And now is the time for our story for all ages. Today's story is entitled All Are Welcome. And normally I would invite the children to come forth, but like I said, I've been sick, so I'll invite you not to come forth. All Are Welcome by Alexandra Penfold and Suzanne Kaufman. Pencils sharpened in their case, bells are ringing, let's make haste. School's beginning, dreams to chase, all are welcome here. No matter how you start your day, what you wear when you play, or if you come from far away, all are welcome here. In our classroom, safe and sound, fears are lost and hope is found. Raise your hand, we'll go around. All are welcome here. Gather now, let's all take part. We'll play music, we'll make art. We'll share stories from the heart. All are welcome here. Time for lunch, what a spread. A dozen different kinds of bread. Pass it round till everyone's fed. All are welcome here. Open doors, rush outside. We will swing, we will slide. We'll have fun side by side. All are welcome here. We're part of a community. Our strength is our diversity. A shelter from adversity. All are welcome here. We will learn from each other. Special talents we'll uncover. There's a big world to discover. All are welcome here. So much to learn, so much to do, and when the busy day is through, can't wait to come back, start anew. All are welcome here. Head for home to get some rest, and greet tomorrow, ready and fresh. Our time together is best. All are welcome here. The end. That's a children's book so many adults need to read. Please join me in our children's affirmation. We are Unitarian Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. And this time we will sing our children out. Sweet shelter. Today's reading is a responsive reading, so I invite you to read the part in red along with me. Nurture this precious light. Nurture this precious light. How shall we begin to live out our free faith? Nurture this precious light. When we do, we are beacons of freedom, creating a safe place to rest, explore, and innovate. Nurture this precious light. How we keep this lamp of truth and justice affects how and whether we are transforming inequality through witness and action. Nurture this precious light. As we nurture this precious light together, we become a light of hope, turning isolation into community, anguish into peace, sorrow into joy. Nurture this precious light. As we do, our faith burns a steady flame of innovation, banishing illusion, creating a new and renewing way together. Nurture this precious light. With our living connections, with our glowing stories, with our flame of freedom moving hand to hand, we nurture this precious light. Together, we turn this world from bleak to bright, one flame, one fire, one light at a time. Nurture this precious light. Let's now take a moment of silent meditation or reflection. Amen. Now please join me in a song that you probably know already, but if you don't, it's really easy. This Little Light of Mine. So I took out some of the verses that seemed a little too evangelical, and made up a few that just sounded more you. So. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I lay it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. I lay it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. I lay it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Love and justice light our way, I'm gonna let it shine. Love and justice light our way, I'm gonna let it shine. Love and justice light our way, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Shine all over Statesboro, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over Statesboro, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over Statesboro, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This isn't in there, but even when they call me woke, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when they call me woke, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when they call me woke, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This Little Light of Mine. In the early 1940s, a shadow was cast across Europe as the horrors of World War II unfolded. Millions of people lived in fear, their lives threatened by the spread of fascism and the terror of Nazi occupation. It was a time when darkness seemed to have the upper hand, and the future was uncertain for countless individuals. Yet in the midst of this turmoil, there were those who refused to give in to despair, those who believed that even the smallest light could pierce darkness. One such person was Reverend Charles Joy, the executive director of the Unitarian Service Committee. This organization was dedicated to humanitarian efforts, working tirelessly to provide aid and rescue to refugees fleeing Nazi-occupied territories. Reverend Joy and his team were determined to save as many lives as they could, but they faced a significant challenge. How could they establish a trustworthy network of safe houses and secure passage for refugees without exposing themselves to the very forces they were trying to escape? Reverend Joy decided that they needed a symbol, something that could be recognized at a glance, something that could convey safety, trust, and hope. The symbol needed to be simple yet profound, something that could easily be reproduced on documents, signs, and identification papers, but that also carried deep meaning. In search of such a symbol, Reverend Joy turned to Hans Deutsch, an artist who had himself fled the Nazis and found refuge in Portugal. Hans was familiar with the oppressive power of fascism, and he knew the importance of symbols in both inspiring resistance and providing hope. He accepted the task with a sense of urgency, aware that his work could mean the difference between life and death for those in hiding. What Hans created was a simple yet elegant design, a chalice with a flame rising from it. The chalice, a cup, was a symbol that many cultures and religions could recognize as a vessel of sustenance, nourishment, and ritual. The flame, on the other hand, represented the light of truth, the fire of commitment, and the warmth of love and hope. Together, the flaming chalice became a powerful emblem for the Unitarian Service Committee, a sign that could be trusted, a beacon of safety in a perilous time. For those who encountered the symbol, the flaming chalice was more than just a mark on a document. It was a lifeline, a silent assurance that they were not alone, that someone was working behind the scenes to bring them to safety. It represented the resilience of the human spirit, the commitment to justice, and the belief that love could indeed overcome hate. As the war ended and the world began to rebuild, the flaming chalice continued to be a symbol of hope, but it also took on new meanings. Within the Unitarian Universalist tradition, it evolved into a central symbol of our faith. Today, when we light the chalice at the beginning of our services, we are not just performing a ritual. We're connecting ourselves to that legacy of courage and compassion. We're remembering that our faith calls us to be active in the world, to be the light that dispels darkness, to be the warmth that nurtures community, and to be the flame that ignites justice. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, in his Sermon on the Mount, Jesus tells his listeners, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." Having been raised in an evangelical religious tradition, I always interpreted these words as a mandate to spread Christianity. To let my light shine, I believed, meant to share my faith in an attempt to convert others. I saw Christians as the sole possessors of this divine light, while all the rest of the world stumbled in darkness. But Jesus was not speaking to a Christian audience. In fact, Christianity did not yet exist as an established religion. Nor was he speaking to a group of people who believed he was the Son of God, the Messiah, or really anything more than a teacher or rabbi. Jesus' message about being the light of the world was not an exclusive command to convert others to a specific set of beliefs. Rather, it was a universal call to embody the light of goodness, truth, and compassion that resides within each of us. I chose to reference the New Testament because that's the sacred text with which I am most familiar. But this is a sermon that could be drafted from the sacred text of nearly any world religion. In the Hebrew Bible, the prophet Isaiah declares, "I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth." In the Buddhist tradition, the Dhammapada teaches, as a lamp lights up the darkness, so the wise person shines with wisdom, dispelling ignorance and bringing peace. In the Quran, we find a similar sentiment. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. The parable of his light is as if there were a niche, and within it a lamp, the lamp enclosed in glass. The glass, as it were, a brilliant star, light upon light. In Hinduism, the concept of Jyotisha, or the science of light, is both literal and metaphorical, symbolizing the light of knowledge that dispels the darkness of ignorance. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us, "Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling within their hearts, destroy the darkness, born of ignorance, with a shining lamp of knowledge." Note that in Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, he did not command his audience to be the light of the world. Instead, he assures them, "Ye are the light of the world." When Jesus says, "Ye are the light of the world," he's not issuing a directive to become something we are not. Rather, he is affirming a truth about our inherent nature. This statement is not a command, but an acknowledgement of a reality that already exists within us. Jesus is telling his audience that they possess within themselves a light, a capacity for goodness, truth, and compassion that has the potential to illuminate the world around them. Being a light in the darkness is not something to be earned or acquired. Instead, it is something to be recognized and expressed. This light is not exclusive to any one group or belief system. It is a universal quality that resides in all of humanity. Jesus is inviting us to become aware of the divine light that is already within us and to let it shine forth. In recognizing that we are the light of the world, we are called to embody and share the values of love, justice, and kindness. Not through proselytizing or seeking to convert others to our way of thinking, but by living out those values in our daily lives. Notice that Jesus said, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works." He did not say that they would hear your good words. He said they would see your good works. One question often posed by UU congregations and leaders is, how do we attract new people to our congregation? We don't proselytize. In fact, the very nature of our religious tradition prevents us from attempting to convert others. We don't use fear tactics or try to convince people to come to our churches to escape punishment in the afterlife. So how do we attract new people to our religious community? Obviously, we need to offer something meaningful and substantive, something that makes visitors want to return, but that only matters if we can actually get people in the doors. How do we do that? By letting our light shine, by doing good work. When I first moved from Charleston to Savannah, the pastor of the United Church of Christ I attended in Charleston advised me that there was not an open and affirming UCC in Savannah, and he recommended I try the Unitarian Universalist church. So I did. I remember when I left service that day, I called my dad and told him I just attended service with a bunch of hippies singing John Denver songs. Not that I have anything against hippies or John Denver, but for some reason the service didn't appeal to me that Sunday morning. Yet a few years later, I ended up going back. Not because I was longing for folk music, not because someone from the congregation invited me, but because it seemed wherever I saw the work of social justice, I saw the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. I saw them at Gay Pride. I saw them counter-protesting when the Westboro Baptist bigots came to town. When a young gay man was attacked and harassed, and Savannah PD advised him that this wouldn't happen if he weren't so flamboyant, yes, that actually happened, the gay community rallied together, demanding action from the mayor and city council. That meeting was held in the sanctuary of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. No members of the congregation ever knocked on my door. They never handed me a pamphlet, but I saw their good works. I saw their lights shining, and that light drew me in. It's not our words that will bring others into our community, but our deeds. When we live our values, when our actions reflect our beliefs, people notice. They see the light we shine, and they are drawn to it. Our task isn't to tell others what to believe, but to show them what a life lived in love, justice, and kindness looks like. And when we do that, our light shines bright enough to guide others to us. In the 17th and 18th centuries, English laws oppressed the Irish Catholic population, banning Catholic priests from practicing their faith. Despite the danger, many Irish families would place a candle in their window during Christmas as a sign that it was a safe house where a traveling priest could find shelter and say Mass. Similarly, during the Revolutionary War in the United States, colonists who couldn't openly show their support for independence due to the presence of Loyalist and British soldiers began placing candles in their windows. These candles signified to soldiers fighting for independence that this was a safe place, a refuge where they could rest and recover. That symbolism continued during the Civil War, as families sent their sons off to fight in what would become the bloodiest war in American history. They placed a candle in the window as a sign of hope that their loved one would return home alive. And I imagine while those soldiers were away for months or even years, knowing that candle was in the window back home gave them the strength to keep going. Because when the last battle was fought, there was a place of refuge waiting, filled with people who never gave up hope. Today, we are called to be that candle in the window. By letting our light shine, we can be a beacon of hope, safety, and refuge for those who are persecuted or marginalized. Just as those candles once guided weary travelers and soldiers to safety, our light can guide others to a place of acceptance and love. By embodying our values and standing up for those in need, we let others know that they are not alone, that there is a safe place where they will be welcomed and embraced. Over the course of my 15-year career as an educator, there have been more than a few occasions when a student chose my class as the place to come out to their peers. Now, I don't advertise my sexual orientation at work. If students ask, I answer honestly, but it isn't something I feel the need to announce. I don't know if it's something I said or did, but for whatever reason, those students saw a candle in my window. They saw a safe place where they knew they could be their authentic selves. And I count this as one of my greatest achievements as an educator. It is my sincere prayer that when others see us, they see that candle. May we be a candle in the window to the transgender teen whose parents are not ready to accept them. May this congregation be a candle in the window to the young adult struggling with mental health, unsure where to turn. Be a candle in the window to the elderly person who feels forgotten and alone. May we be that light to the single parent juggling too much, feeling overwhelmed and unsupported. May we stand as a candle in the window to the person of color who still today faces discrimination and injustice. May we be a candle in the window to the young woman who, when facing the most difficult decision of her life, has that decision stripped away by politicians who lack both a medical degree and a uterus, yet still feel entitled to make choices about her body. And may we together be a beacon to anyone who feels lost, unseen, unloved, offering them a place of safety, acceptance, and warmth. In an article entitled The Healing Cup, The Story of the Flaming Chalice, Reverend Noreen Kimball writes, one very old woman told how the flaming chalice of her homeland, Czechoslovakia, helped her while she was in a Nazi prison camp. Printed under the picture of the Czech flaming chalice was the motto, Pravda Vitezi, which means in English, truth overcomes, or truth prevails. Every single morning in that terrible camp, the old woman said she traced a picture of the flaming chalice in the sand with her finger. Then she wrote the motto underneath it. It gave me the strength to live each day, she said. Whenever she drew the chalice in the dirt, she was reminded that someday the world would remember the important truth that every single person is important and should be free to think and believe as he or she chooses. As Unitarian Universalists, we are called to be that chalice, to carry within us the flame of truth, justice, and compassion, and to let it shine brightly in a world that so often feels overshadowed by injustice and oppression. Just as the flaming chalice became a beacon of hope for those seeking refuge during the horrors of World War II, our light can be a source of comfort and strength for those battling the darkness of our time. Like the old woman tracing the chalice in the dirt, may we remember that every time we let our light shine, we affirm the truth that every person is important, that every life has value, and that together our light can indeed overcome the darkness. Amen, and may it be so. If you know this old song, sing it with me because I hardly have a voice. But I'll do my best to honor the legacy of Credo's Clearwater Revival. Put a candle in the window, but I feel I've got to move. But I'm going, I'll be coming home soon. Long as I can see the light, long as I can see the light. Pack my bags, let's get moving. 'Cause I'm bound to drift a while. When I'm gone, you don't have to worry no more. Long as I can see the light, long as I can see the light. Guess I've got that old traveling boat. 'Cause this feeling won't leave me alone. But I won't be losing my way, long as I can see the light. Long as I can see the light. Put a candle in the window, but I feel I've got to move. But I'm going, I'll be coming soon. Long as I can see the light. Long as I can see the light. Thank you. That's much better when I'm not getting over the flu. This time our offering will be gratefully received. As a reminder, half the offering will go to restoring the breach.
Give thanks for the corn and the wheat that are reaped, for labor well done, and for barns that are heaped, for the sun and the dew and the sweet honeycomb, for the rose and the song and the harvest brought home. Give thanks for the hills and the ponds of our land, for craft and my strength in the work of our hands, for the beauty our artists and poets have wrought, for the hope and affection our friendships have brought. Give thanks for the homes that with kindness are blessed, for seasons of plenty and well-deserved, for our country extending from sea unto sea, for ways that have made it a land for the free.
If you have a joy or concern you would like to share with the congregation, we invite you to do so now. You can light a candle or place a stone for your joy or concern.
So I have a joy, which is that for 25 years, I was the mother of a daughter. And tomorrow is the anniversary of her death, which is a really hard and dark time for us. So I love the symbolism of the chalice and the light. And in our house right now, our entire dining room table is covered in candles and pictures and shells because she loved the ocean. And Mike had posted something about how, like, it was like we were calling in her memory, saying, calling her to come and be with us. And I really wanted to share this all with you, and I was thinking about how I wanted to share it, and then I remembered this thing that someone had said, a minister had said at a funeral, which is that instead of being upset because and asking God, why did you take someone from us, we should remember what an amazing blessing it was that we had them at all. So it is a blessing that for 25 years I was her mom. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I guess I have a joy that maybe can true, but
Bella's husband, Brad, has gotten better. He can walk, and then now cleared him to drive. So he's now back on the road, so be careful. But he is doing much better. And I'm going to drop a stone for Miss Bella because she's still not feeling well. You know, she's just fighting with the medicine they give her is not helping. It's making her feel worse and all. So she's still struggling a bit, so keep her in your thoughts. I can call her, text her. She sits at home with nothing to do, so she claims. But, you know, well, it's my phone up, so feel free. Thank you.
Nice.
I am thankful that the worst of the flu is behind me. I'm also thankful that it's the first time I've dealt with this since I think 2019. So I guess I had it coming, but especially when I deal with Derby middle school kids. But, so I'm thankful for that as well. I will definitely get a flu shot much sooner every year from now. Anyone else? As we come together as a community, sharing our joys and sorrows, in this sacred space, we lift up our hearts, celebrating the moments that bring us joy and acknowledging the challenges that weigh upon us. May we find solace in our collective love and understanding, and may our connections deepen as we navigate the varied paths of life. Spirit of life, bless this community, and may our shared joys and concerns weave a tapestry of compassion that binds us together in love. Amen. Please rise as you are willing and able to sing Spirit of Life. Those who are viewing at home, we invite you to extinguish any flames you have in your homes as we extinguish our palace with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. A few announcements taken from the last. Next week there will be a joining ceremony. So if you're interested in joining, contact Martin. And October 6th is the Blessing of Pets. So next month I will be here with my Chihuahua, my new Jack Russell, and my parrot. So, so bring your pets October 6th for the Blessing of Pet service. Any other announcements?
Yeah, Clint, for those of you who were here last Sunday, you remember Abby talked about the new food bank and volunteering. Well, I had a challenging week, shall we say, so Friday morning I decided I was going to give to somebody else to get off my little pity party. So I go over to the food bank, and it is phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. If you have an interest in doing it, there's a couple of ways. You can either physically go there, and you learn how to pack bags of food, and they have other chores where you're sitting, so you don't have to stand the whole time. The one challenge this time of year is there's no air conditioning. So you get there, you have to get there early, like 8 or 9 o'clock. And the second thing is anything you can donate in terms of egg cartons or grocery bags, plastic bags, they need those severely because they repackage things depending on the size of the family, etc. So I think it's a great light for Statesboro, quite frankly. You know, and it's funny how it kind of tied into what I'm thinking the whole time. Wow. So if you have an interest, see me, Abby also, we both were there on Friday morning. But they're still working on the front part. I think they're going to have a dining room and the ability for people to actually share a meal there. But it's a great place, so I had a good time. I'll definitely be back. So when I know anything, just let me know.
Do they only want plastic bags or
They'll take paper bags too, yeah.
Charleston County banned plastic bags?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can bring those to here if you want, and I'll make sure they get to the food bank.
So, if you're looking for another opportunity for service, I just wanted to say if anybody's interested in helping with the videography, which these days is pretty easy, right, Kathy? It's pretty easy. You just have to start it up, and at the end of the service, stop it. But we could really use a few more hands so that we ensure that there's someone to do this every Sunday for into the future. So if you're at all interested, and we train and we mentor, we sit next to you the first couple of times to make sure you got it. And again, you just have to be here. You don't have to come too early, a few minutes early. Yeah, so please join us.
So the Willow Hill Renaissance Center, historic African American school, and now museum between here and Portal is celebrating, I think it's 150 years. They've got a big anniversary this weekend. And the event activities yesterday, there will be a dinner. You go and buy your food. It's a fundraiser at 2 o'clock. But then at 4 o'clock, they're having a gospel sing. I don't know about y'all, but I love this gospel music. So I'm sure there'll be a love offering or something taken. But that's at Willow Hill, which you go up 80 and turn left like you go to Portland. You'll see the signs on the left. So if you're available and look for something fun, go to Willow Hill and hear gospel music this afternoon.
Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our benediction.
Too shy there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have two things. If you need, or if you would like some good cheap art, go to Grace Connect, look for the SRAA auction, a silent auction going on, or come to the Rosengart Gallery this Friday evening for the finale with some food. Some wonderful, good art. Christmas is coming. There's something really unique. Second thing, we do not have a maid service here, so if you dirty up something, would you mind just cleaning it up a little bit before you leave? Thank you. That's all.
Well put.
And I'll add on to the silent auction. It's like the first Friday tasting downtown may not be happening, but SRAA is doing a hot dog bar. So come down and enjoy some food and get to see the art that's available.
Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our benediction.
Come now in peace, come now in peace. May the Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Go down with peace.
It's